Oh, right away. I found them. They're down here. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Oh, that's a good sized fish. No, 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 no. Come on. Oh yeah. On the fin swim. Get over here, buddy. I'm going to the muck. I'm going to the muck. What are you doing? Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, buddy. Well, if you were thinking about whether or not the new Epic internal system is worth the investment or not, I can tell you right now, it most certainly is. Look at that. Beauty. Fin kick. Actually, sorry. Fin swim. Fin swim. Gobbled it up. Look at that. Awesome. Curly tail action. Good stuff. Let's get this champion back in the water. Hey, what's going on, all my fellow bait chuckers out there? My name is Michael. Welcome back to the channel. And welcome to the new bait shop. We are finally moved in 3 months later, and we'll get a full tour of this shop in the future video coming up. But for right now, we are talking about one of the biggest innovations to hit the home soft plastic bait making scene, and that is the Epic internal weighted system. Now, you've seen me tease this before. We showed it a lot when we were on our trip back east to Epic Bait Molds there in South Carolina, and now it is finally available for all of you. Lead molds, soft plastic over molds, pretty awesome system. And in today's video, we are going to cover all the stuff you need to know before you make this big investment. So if you want the short answer and you're on the fence, I can save you a decision right now. Definitely go out and make the investment. But it is in fact an investment, because we're not just talking about a lead mold and an over mold. I mean, you got 2 mold purchases at a minimum. You're also going to need all the stuff that comes along with being able to pour lead. And if a lot of you were probably just like I was before this, I had never poured lead before in my life. So having a lead pot later, learning a few things after blowing through 100 hooks, there's just a couple things I think some of the newcomers should learn. And if you already are making the investment, maybe you're waiting for the molds to arrive right now, well, here's a couple things you should probably also put on your shopping list. Now, we're going to cover a lot of items in today's video, and as always, I keep all of the products linked down below in the description. Some of those links are affiliate links, and they do come back and help out the channel just a little bit, so we appreciate all of you using those links down in the description when you're picking up your products. So to give a brief overview of what the Epic internal system is, it is a 2-part system that consists of a lead mold here as well as a soft plastic bait over mold. The lead mold will allow you to make these weighted swim bait hooks. And the mold is CNC machined. It has top quality, everything you would expect from Jason over there at Epic Bait Molds. Beautiful hardwood cherry handles, and you can see we have sizes from 1/8 ounce all the way up to 1/2 ounce. So lots of different sizes for you to choose from. You simply open the mold, you will insert all of your hooks here, close it on up, pour your lead, and that is going to give you an internally weighted swim bait hook. Now, once we have this hook made, we're going to insert that into the soft plastic bait over mold. Now, the hooks are very specific because these only fit one size, but you can see the hook holders will hold the weighted hooks in place. You can close up the mold and then you can inject. And because of that beautiful dual port system, you can even pour dual laminates, which is pretty impressive. So not only do we get an internally weighted swim bait system for the home bait maker, we also are having the ability to do dual laminates, and the way it works gives it such a natural look and feel. Totally awesome. So this is in fact a 2 mold setup. You need a lead mold as well as a corresponding swim bait over mold. You have 2 designs to choose from. So the first one is the fin swimmer. You can see the fin swimmer has a curly tail here on the back of it. And then we also have the fin kicker. And you can see the fin kicker has more of a paddle tail. Now the body shape is identical on both baits because they fit the overmold, but one has a kicker tail and one has a kind of a curly tail. So you have 2 different options to choose from. You have the fin kicker and you have the fin swimmer. 2 different overmolds, both with individual unique actions. Both have very different applications. So awesome that we already have multiple overmolds for the one single jig mold. So in addition to the molds, you're also going to have to grab yourself some hooks, and some very specific hooks. Luckily, Jason has put the engraving for us right on top of the mold, so we'll never forget. Size 3/0, that's important. And you're going to have to use Mustad number 32786NP-BN in the 3/0 size. Or you have the Victory option, which is 10786BN, again, also in the 3/0 size. Again, I'll have links to these down below in the description. You can get these hooks over at Barlow's, but unfortunately, I don't have a discount code or an affiliate link with Barlow's. Apparently, I'm like the only bait maker on YouTube without one. I don't know. I guess Matt doesn't like me for some reason, but I'll put the links down there anyways. And if you head over to Barlow's, let them know that Michael sent you, huh? Will you put in a good word for me? But when you pick up your hooks, I highly recommend buying more than 1 pack. You can buy them in a pack of 100, and I think there's a bigger bulk pack that might be 1,000. I'm not sure, but I bought a 100 pack of hooks, and I ripped through that package in the very first lead pouring session. And in fact, if you're brand new, I couldn't recommend a better way to learn to pour lead. By the time of those 100 baits, it took maybe, I don't know, less than 20 minutes. I learned how to pour lead pretty good. You kind of learn pretty quickly, and I highly recommend just spend the 16, 17 bucks, buy a bag of 100, get 2 ingots of lead if you're a first-time bait maker pouring lead, and with those 2 ingots, you can pour those 100 hooks right out the gate, and that is probably the best way to teach yourself how to pour. And speaking of pouring lead, we also have to be very cautious of the fumes, especially if you're a first-timer and you're going to be lighting up that hot pot for the first time. Whew, let me show you my setup over here. Okay, so you can see I keep my lead pot when it's all set up right here near the front of the garage door open because I want clear ventilation. The first time you heat up this lead pot, it's going to smoke like crazy, burning off all the oils and everything inside of it. So you really want to make sure you're in a well ventilated area. I got my portable fan right here. Click this baby up on high, and it just takes all those fumes, sucks them, and blows them right out the garage, out into the open. Now, in terms of lead pots, I bought the bigger version of the Lee lead pot. It's the model 420. I mean, with a model number like that, how could you buy anything else? But they do make a smaller version. The 4 stands for 20 pounds. So I could put 20 pounds of lead in here. Now, I'm never going to ever pour 20 pounds of lead at a time, and it's probably a little bit of overkill, but as you could tell, that's my middle name, and I'd rather go big or go home. I like to have a bigger pot with higher heating power, and already in the few lead pieces that I've poured, I can tell you that this performs way better than the smaller Lee pot that I used back at the Epic Bait Molds shop. Nothing against the smaller pot. I just felt like this heated everything up much faster and was able to maintain that nice hot temperature better, and plus it has a much better pouring spout system than the smaller version. So if you don't mind spending a few extra bucks, I recommend the model 420 from Lee, because again, awesome. Also, highly recommend picking yourself up some Frankfurt Arsenal's Dropout. This was highly recommended by Adam. Now, I did pour a couple of lead jigs without this just to see, and as Adam showed in his video, it works perfectly fine with these beautiful CNC'd aluminum molds. But the Dropout definitely helped getting them out of the mold a lot easier. So a couple spritz, just let it dry, and you're good to go. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to use, and again, if you have a couple extra bucks that you can invest, this is going to make your life a whole lot easier. And the nice thing too is if you are going to invest in the lead pot setup is that There's so many other lead molds available out there from lots of other manufacturers. I grabbed a couple do-it molds here. I have a hover jig setup, so again, I don't need to get into skirt tying, but I can make myself some hover jigs now. I also got myself a nice little ball head jig for the strolling minnows. So again, lots of options that open up to you once you start pouring lead, not just with the Epic over mold system. And by the way, do you notice that? The nice hanger that's built in, just wanted to point that out. I think that's pretty sweet. And again, cherry wood handles. Get yourself a nice little bit of worm oil, put it on there, let it soak in. It's going to protect those nice wood handles because they do come unfinished. But again, nice cherry wood handles compared to, well, I don't know, whatever the rest of the other guys are using. All right, so now that that's covered, before we prep our plastic to inject, we have to ask ourselves a very important question. To seal or not to seal? That is the question. You can see here, this is a perfectly beautiful, shiny jig head that was fresh out of a lead mold. And you can see here, this is a jig head that I fished and made back in South Carolina, so I've been using it for just over a month now. I ripped it out of the bait to show you, and I can prove it's old because you can see the new one has the 1/2 ounce marker in there and the old one doesn't. This was something Jason added right before production. So you can see from swimming the bait and using it, once the water got to the lead, it does oxidize the lead and turn it a little bit black. Now, Adam goes into this in great length on his channel. I'm going to leave a link to that video in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Definitely go check it out. Adam covers using a product from Lureworks called Bond Coat. I ordered myself a jar. It hasn't arrived yet, but the Bond Coat serves two purposes. You brush it on, and not only does it seal and encapsulate the lead, so that way water can't get to it, and it will prevent it from turning dark or brown or black over time and potentially destroying your bait over the course of 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Something you might want to think about as someone who's going to be selling these for your commercially for your own bait business. But also, the Bond Coat is tacky, and it actually helps the Plastisol over mold adhere to the actual jig itself. So it kind of serves two purposes. Again, I haven't used it yet. After watching Adam's video, I ordered myself a jar. So I definitely recommend going out and grabbing that. The Bond Coat, the hooks, some lead ingots, you know, stuff like the hooks and the Bond Coat. I mean, you can only get the Bond Coat from Lureworks, and as far as I can tell, you can only get the hooks from Barlow's. And with this new system releasing, there's probably going to be a run on those two materials, so you might want to head out and grab your some right now. And now that we're ready to inject, we have to cover what type of Plastisol you're going to want to use. Now, if you're in the bait plastics world, you got two options. Obviously, Bait Plastics 242 medium blend, perfect for this. But personally, I like to use the 292. 292 is also part of the low odor, ultra clear lineup of Plastisol from Bait Plastics, and it's a medium hard. And now I've talked a lot to Bobby about this and a couple others at the Bait Maker meetup. 292 is pretty incredible because you get that extra durability without really sacrificing very much action, if anything noticeable at all, over the 242. So for these specifically, I've been using 292 and getting incredible action, especially on the boot tail. I get this crazy body wobble in there because that little bit of a stiffer tail back there. Awesome stuff. Now, if you're a deadhead and you like your dead-on plastics, you're going to have to use Swimbait Jerkbait blend. I did try it with the Crawl 2 blend, and it just unfortunately is a little too stiff. You lose a lot of action on the tails. You could probably get away with it on the fin swim because it's a curly tail, but on the boot kicker, I can guarantee you that the Crawl 2 blend is going to be a little much. So if you want to get that little bit of extra toughness, I recommend using the Swimbait Jerkbait blend from Dead On, and then add a little bit of their hardener in there. Not enough to bump it up the Crawl tube, but you know, maybe cut that in half just to give you that medium hard range. That's something that Dead On doesn't have in their lineup. So Swimbait, jerkbait, a little bit of hardener, that'll get you to that medium hard. You get a little bit extra durability without sacrificing a bunch of the action. Now, we are gonna pour some baits here today, but I don't wanna bore you with, getting the Plastisol ready. And also, I'm gonna send you out to the ponds, and future Michael is gonna teach you how to swim these baits, because again, more information that you need to take into account, whether you're swimming these and making these baits for yourself, or whether you're selling them, you're gonna have to know how to tell your customers how to swim these baits. So check out these new ponds. All right, bait chuckers, welcome to the new lakes that I have access to fish here. This is the largest behind me here of the bodies of water that we have access to fish to now. The property has 3 lakes. They're actually the drinking reservoirs for us residents here in the community. And then we also have the front pond that's surrounded by houses, and then we have a smaller kind of catch-all irrigation pond for the golf course. So 5 different bodies of water, plus we have a major river that runs right through the property as well. So we got access to trout, spotted bass, largemouth bass in the river as well. And I should also mention that all of these bodies of water here are stocked with Florida strain largemouth. So awesome, super excited, very, very blessed to be able to fish these new waters. You'll see a lot of that in the videos in the future here on the channel. But before we get into the shop and making some baits, there's a few things you need to know about how to fish the bait, because I wanted to hold up some examples for you here. Take a look at this bait and take a look at this bait. Can you tell me what the difference is between these two baits? Probably not. The difference is this is an 1/8 ounce bait and this is a 1/2 ounce bait here. So the reason I bring this up is because this isn't like a normal soft plastic bait where the customer or even yourself is able to just pick whatever weight they want and fish it how they want. These are internally weighted baits. So once you inject the bait over top of the weighted hook, that's the weight that this is going to be. So as I mentioned, whether you're fishing these and making these for yourself, or whether you're a small business and you're making these to resell, you should know a little bit about the baits and how to fish it with the different weights on them. Now, coming through cover, you have an open exposed hook. So I can tell you, coming through wood, not a fantastic idea, right? Coming through lots of weeds and grass, that's manageable. We'll get to how to fish that in a second. But keep in mind, you have that open hook here, okay? So this is gonna snag. Now, I have fished this bait for the better part of a month now. I fished it all week when we were at Lake Hartwell. And what I found is the heavier 1/2 ounce ones, because of this nice blunt nose here in the front, you can cast this baby out, let it sink all the way to the bottom and just dredge that bottom nice and slow. Super, super slow. Even burning it real fast, it's gonna come across. You're gonna feel all the rocks bump up against this head, and it comes through rocks like a dream. Awesome. It does get hung up once in a while. It is an open hook, but usually what I found is if you pop the slack on your line there and just give it a couple kind of loose, yanks, you can get it to break free and it comes right out. So extremely snagless when coming through rocks. However, wood, as I mentioned, because of that exposed hook, typically what happens is it's going to hit that branch, it's going to roll, and it's going to catch that wood, and it's going to stick. So be careful when fishing this bait around wood, regardless of the size. So the heavier baits are great because you can cast them out, let them sink all the way to the bottom. You can dredge bottom, or if you want to, reel a little bit faster, you could take that 1/2 ounce bait and kind of swim it mid column or low column. Now, if you have grass like we have here, these are crystal clear drinking water reservoirs. So especially up towards the shoreline and even out further, we have grass that's 15 feet tall. That's where you take the lighter weight, the 1/8 ounce, you can kind of cast it out there and just give it that nice little medium pace. And it's just going to come across nice and mid column, and it's just going to tip the top. Here's that grass. It's just going to come by and boop, tip it and come right through it, and you have less of a chance to get snagged. The heavier baits, you can do the same thing. You can pull them across the tops of the grass, but because they're heavier, they're going to want to tend to sink, down lower in the column. They're going to get caught on that grass a lot easier. So you want to make sure if you're coming over top of grass, use the lighter 1/8 ounce, higher up in the column, closer towards the surface. If you're going to be dredging bottom or open water, 1/2 ounce is definitely the way to go. Now the beauty though is we have weights all in between. So we got 1/8, 3/16, quarter, 3/8, 1/2 ounce. So you can kind of decide how you want to make these and fish these and sell them to your customers. So I definitely recommend starting out with some common sizes, 1/8 ounce, 1/4 ounce, 1/2 ounce, and give yourself a few options to work with. Again, whether it's for yourself, even for your customers. So enough talking. Let's head back into the shop. We are going to start making some baits, and I want to get catching some fish because we need some fish catchers for the end of this video. So hopefully I'll see you in just a little bit. All right, here we are, fresh, hot cup of Plastisol ready to go. Now for the top color, I will admit we did cheat a little bit. I used some leftover remelt. We had some Aaron's Morning Dawn color that I made for some worms and some of our PB&J Chameleon. Mixed them up together, lots of siren scales and black flake in there. So we have our awesome top color there ready to go. So we're going to complement it with a nice, simple, yet powerful and good looking belly color. Now, this does have a ton of bubbles in it. It's for personal use. It's okay. I unfortunately don't have my vacuum chamber all set up yet, but we will get to that very, very soon. Now, first up, we're going to add some mica shift powder. This is the Violet Interference, and I'm happy to say that these are finally available on the website. So if you want to pick up some 8-Bit Baits interference powders, the new mica shift lineup. Now these do not shift colors per se, these are interference powders, but we do have shifting mica powders coming in the next few weeks. So we're just going to take ourselves a nice little dollop of that right there. You don't need a lot. These are high quality automotive interference pearls, so a little bit goes a long ways. They're also very small micron, and you can use them inside of an airbrush for that technique. No problems whatsoever there as well. And I'm just going to stir this in, and we get that beautiful violet sheen there. We're going to make sure to scrape the edges. We're probably going to have to warm this up again in the microwave for sure, because we were just at that 350 mark. I like to keep the temperatures very low when we're injecting the soft plastics here for these overmolds, because that lead will suck out the heat. So we really got to pay close attention to all of our temperatures. So next up, we are going to be adding in some of our silver holographics, the 0.40. And again, we're just going to take a nice couple dollops of that. You can tell I don't have my measuring spoons here with me, and I like a nice sparkly belly in my swim baits. So we're going to go ahead and throw that in the lineup as well. And that's pretty much it. This is going to give us our awesome little kind of violet pearl belly. It's going to be mostly clear. We're going to let the colors come through from the purple and the browns of the chameleon up top, and you can see we have a little bit of that violet sheen on the knife. You can definitely see it there. That's going to play off nicely on that darker top color. Lots of sparkle, lots of shimmer in the water. All right, so let's get both of these colors warmed up to the proper temperatures. And normally we would vacuum them out, but today we're obviously not going to do that. So let's get these all warmed up and ready for injection. Okay, we are all up to temperatures. We are ready to go. Remember, boys and girls, don't forget to glove up. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can't make this laminate work. I think it'll look decent. What do you all think? Do you have faith? I think it'll look pretty good. All right, here we go. Whoop, get in there. There we go. There we go. All right. Top everything off. That felt like a solid injection to me. Good run. I mean, here's what it looks like on the injector. You can see that nice chameleon coming through. There's some sonic hollow shift in there giving off blue vibes. And we got that sparkle flake clear belly and those violet hues there on the outer edges. That interference pearl doing its job. Pretty translucent for a mica powder. Awesome stuff. Really cool. Let's check out the blending block. What do you think? Alright, let's take a look. What do we got going on here? Oh yeah. Blending block does not cease to disappoint. I can see that nice purple on there, brown on the edges. You can see, boom, that kind of clear reflective belly with that violet reflection. I think this is going to look good paired up. Let's get these demolded. Take a look. All right, here we go. Demolding of the 4.6-inch fin swim. Let's see what we got going on here. There we go. Can we get them all to come off on the one side? They're going to want to because of the hook keeper. Yeah, there we go. Take a look at those tasty little morsels. Oh, we got that glare off of the aluminum mold. Let's get these out of here. There we go. Take a look at that, huh? I love that natural look you get from the laminate, the way it blends up here around the jig head. You can see the clear just carries into the tail because that was the bottom color. So that just carries all the way down into the tail. And that seems to be how the laminates tend to work with this. You kind of get that hot spot of the back right up here, and then it kind of, the belly color takes over and shoots into the tail, which I think looks absolutely amazing. It's definitely a unique look, and you can see with this double sprue system, you got the two different blends coming in. And what I like about it is it kind of swirls almost up here in the head, so you do get a little bit of a blend for a very natural looking bait. And we'll just go ahead and pull these off of here. I know I normally don't pull them off, I normally clip, but take a look at that. Beautiful, beautiful underside there on the belly. Nice natural look. Whew, awesome stuff. What about these other ones here? Oh yeah, there we go. A little bit of flashing up here around the hook. We'll take care of that. Boom. Take a look at those tasty morsels. Awesome. Internally weighted fin swimmers. Now these are all 1/4 ounce. I wanted some kind of medium to lighter side weight so I can drag over top of the grass here. And in the ultra clear water reservoirs that I'm fishing, I think these are going to do super, super well. All right, let's take a look at the kicker. Okay, here we go. The 3.4-inch fin kicker. Let's crack this open. I don't know what side. Yep, they're going to come off on that side. Get those boot tails out of there. There we go. Look at that. Well, I can see one. We definitely have some denting on the one. That's what I was talking about. So my temps were a little hot going in on the belly color. So we're going to have to match that up just a little bit better. But again, this is for me, for personal use. I will still fish it. But again, you got to be aware of it. That lead is just going to suck all that heat right up. And that's exactly what it did. You can see that's going to be the vulnerable spot right there behind that lead head. So that's on me. Got to get the temps a little bit lower. Like Jason said in his video, if you're getting dents, lower your temps. These other three kickers though shot absolutely amazing. You can see the nice clear bellies. That pink kind of purpley vibe of that violet highlight carries out into the clear tail. Absolutely love it. Super cool to have these different options for us now. You have the same internally weighted hook. This is a 1/4 ounce on each of these. Same exact 3/0 hook. And we got a kicker tail and a curly tail. Absolutely amazing. Super, super cool. the epic internal system. Well, y'all know what time it is now. Let's get some close-ups of these baits and we will meet you out on the water. There we go. There we go. Come on, buddy. There we go. Oh, another good one. Oh, another solid fish. Let's go. Nope, 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 nope. Get over here. Oh, God. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, I can't flip him. He's too big. I'm gonna snap my pole. Oh God, come here, buddy. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Ooh. Oh, buddy, buddy. Oh gosh, look at this. Look at this fish. Massive. Yeah. Woo. They are loving, absolutely loving the fin swim. Come on, buddy. Let's get you back in the water. Ooh, he's slicing my fingers open. There we go. Oh, he's got sharp teeth. Yeah, look at that. All right, let's get you back. Woo. Tore me up pretty good. That's a good sign. All right, now, as you can see here, the bait has slid down off of the lead harness right here. So, not to worry, you could slide it back on if you wanted to. I already, did that once, but I got plenty in the truck, and I think we caught 2 monsters on this. Let's take the plastic all the way off. We'll clip off this lead jig head. We'll save this for another injection, which is the best thing about this, especially if you're making them for yourself. And let's tie on a kicker, see what kind of damage we can't do with a fin kicker. There we go. There we go. Yeah. On the kicker. Come on. All right, not as big. Not as big. We'll take it. We'll take it. Not as big, but we will take it. Oh, come here, buddy. Come on up here. Come on up here. Say hello to YouTube. Come on up here, buddy. Say hello to the bait chuckers. There we go. Another one. Fin kicker right in the side of the mouth. Yeah, took the whole thing. Love it. All right, bait chuckers. Well, I fished about all the shoreline I got access to here on on this little pond. So I think we're gonna move over to one of the reservoirs here. So just a short little hop, skip, and a jump, and we'll see you over there at the next lake. You know, as soon as I get a golf cart, well, then we got access to a lot more water. So stay tuned for that in the future. But for now, let's go check out another spot. There we go. There we go. Yeah, come on. Oh, he's going in the grass. Get out of the grass. Yeah, what's up, buddy? Not bad. Ugh, not bad at all. On the kicker, right in the roof of the mouth. Awesome stuff. Yeah. There we go. There we go, baby. Come on. Fish on. Come on. That was a decent one. He's fighting. Come on. Come out of that muck. Come out of that muck. Oh. Nope, nope, nope. Where you going, buddy? Where you going? All that fight? All that fight? Look at you. Yeah. Good sized fish on the fin kicker. Look at that. Awesome. Swallowed it right in the side of the mouth. Sweet. All right, everybody, this is a good spot to wrap and cap this video. It's getting dark outside. I got to go pick up dinner for the family. I got a pizza waiting for us at the parlor. You know, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you all enjoy the epic internal weighted system. This is one heck of a setup. I can't wait for you all to get your hands on it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smack the thumbs up button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And until next time, y'all know who it is, your friend on this end, Michael, out here around the great Shakies of Cali, reminding you to keep on chucking. I'll get back with you.